There's probably going to be some bad language in this, so you might not want to let the kids watch. Wino's back, you flaming mongrels, here with another Ultimate Fighter review. And I got to tell you, this one was a pretty good one. First episode of the semis. Good one for the same reason any of the other ones have been good ones this season, except for the last one, which had some interesting shit going up in the lead up to the fight. Once again, the lead up was pretty fucking boring, but the fight, oh geez, that fight was fucking great. So, in the lead up, we had, as I've said throughout the season, I was hoping once we got to the semis, we've already been introduced to the people, so it would open it up for more interesting shit to happen in the lead up. And look, there's no drama going on in the house or anything like that, so you got to work with what you can work with if you're the people editing the show. But you could give us some more training. They gave us a bit of training. It was fun seeing Ricky train. It was fun seeing Ludwig train a bit. But yeah, it was more just getting to know people. And as we already found out last time, Ricky's kind of the Diego Sanchez of the house this year with the spiritual stuff and being a bit wacky and everything like that. But the other thing we saw in the lead-up, Volkanovski's team finally got a prank in. And, I mean, wasn't the best prank in the world. It was playing on Ortega. Apparently Ortega's late all the time, which is another thing that shows a little bit of lack of respect to his team and lack of respect to everyone working there. Think about all the cameramen and shit like that. He shows up 40 minutes late. Fucking come on, man. Show some respect to people. And that's what they were trying to play on with this by putting clocks in his room. I get it, but it's still just not the best prank, Volk, but you gave it a shot. But yeah, rest of the episode was us learning they got phone calls. They got phone calls to their family, which is you're supposed to get all heartfelt and I've seen them talk to their family, I will say it was nice of Dana to give them phone calls to their family, but that shit didn't really entertain me all that much. I'm glad they got the calls. I don't think we needed to spend so much time on those. Would have preferred to spend more time watching them train. But anyway, lackluster start of the episode again. We get to the fight, and my God, the fight was great. So yeah, first round starts. Ricky's coming out strong. He's being the aggressor. He's throwing more of a variety of strikes, and he's also throwing in combinations. And it's already got Ludwig backing up a bit. Ricky started the better, but then Ludwig lands this really stiff jab. And you could tell it got Ricky's respect a bit. He spent the next maybe minute or so trying to recalculate and figure out what to do. And that shifted the momentum as well, because Ludwig started to be the one coming forward and throw punches. Didn't land a whole lot, but he was becoming the aggressor. But then Ricky, first he landed a leg kick, which he'd already landed when he started with the variety of strikes. One of those varieties was this fucking leg kick to the lead leg of Ludwig, to his thigh. He landed a strong one up front, and another one at least in there. And then, as Ludwig was taken over after that stiff jab, Ricky's trying to figure out how to get back in, and he lands one of those leg kicks, and you can see that gave him a little bit of the confidence too. And then Ricky starts throwing his jab, which is what, in the lead up to the fight, he said he wanted to do. He said, I wanted to work behind the jab. Not wanted to, he wants to work behind the jab and set everything up off that. It's the most, important strike in boxing, he said, which it is, because it sets shit up and you can throw it out there without opening yourself up too much as well, and you can get reads off people, you get your range in, and it's an effective strike if you land it strongly, as Ludwig showed when he landed such a strong one. And that's exactly what Ricky did. He started establishing his jab. He started throwing combinations once he landed a few jabs, and he started finishing those combinations with his leg kick. He did that a few times. Jab, 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 combo, leg kick. and it was working. And then he was the one who initiated the grappling exchange. He pushed Ludwig up against the cage, and the biggest thing about this was Ricky's head position. He was real aggressive with the head position, and he got it in the right spot. Got it just right under Ludwig's chin there, coming up with it and pushing forward, and was throwing some strikes against the cage. He didn't really go for any takedowns here, but he was looking strong there. They worked off, struck on the feet again for a while. Ricky had the better of that. Did another clinch against the cage with the head position doing well. And yeah, the round's all going for Ricky at this point. And towards the end of the round, he really started to open up with some strong strikes. Like, they did break up a little bit before that and have a little back and forth at distance. Ludwig landed one good right hand and, a bunch of other shots too. But Ricky was really getting the better of it, and he finished the round super strong, just once again backing up Ludwig to the cage and throwing huge combinations, landing a lot of them. And, yeah, that's how we ended the round. Round one, Ricky. Yeah, now we start round two. They both come out super strong, super aggressive. Ludwig gets a takedown pretty much straight away. Shot in well, but how he really got this was by turning the corner when Ricky tried to defend it. But the thing is, I thought Ricky won off his back in this first little ground exchange. He was posting off the head well. He was given some good space, and then hammering elbows, hammering punches, and having a really active guard. And he did work his way back up. Once they worked their way back up, we had a little exchange on the feet, and Ricky clearly won that. He landed a super strong right hand that backed Ludwig up. Not just backed him up, like it seemed to rock him a bit, and did back him up to the cage. And then Ricky gets the takedown. Now, he got the takedown, and Ludwig switched it almost immediately. But once again, he didn't do much with his time on top. The points in this round were all about what you actually do with your offense. And when Ludwig was on top, it was almost always positional. And Ricky, if anything, was landing the strikes when he was on bottom. Not in this second one so much, but he was always causing scrambles and stopping Ludwig from establishing a real domination on top, a real secure position, and being able to set up more from there. All of Ludwig's time on top was just trying to consolidate position. And sure enough, Ricky did get up again. Ludwig took him down again, and it was super scrambly, the third one. It ends up in this position where Ludwig's got Ricky's back, but it's in a real awkward position. He's kind of almost in a laying down position. It's the cage that's keeping him up, and Ricky's sitting like on his lap in a higher position, throwing big elbows behind him, attacking a leg lock. And yeah, it was not dominant by Ludwig in any sense. Like, even though he had the back, it wasn't like a strong back position. And Ricky, they end up getting up anyway, and Ricky ends the round throwing punches to Ludwig against the cage again. And between rounds, like, Volkanovski summed up exactly why Ricky won that round. He said, "You've got all the answers for him. He's got no answers for you." And I totally agree with that. Every time, like, Ludwig's strongest stuff was takedowns and grappling and trying to be on top, but Ricky had answers for all of that with his strikes from the bottom, with him causing scrambles, with him always being able to work his way back up. And then on the feet, Ricky was completely dominating Ludwig in the small times that they got there. So, yeah, that sums up perfectly why I thought Ricky won that round. The other thing to note is, it seems like in the semis, they're just going 3-round fights now. It's not, we go 2 rounds, and if it's 1-1, we go sudden victory. They're just doing 3-round fights now. So who knows? Because they don't tell you at the end the actual scores. Who knows how the judges scored that one? But I'm telling you, I thought Ricky won it pretty clearly. And then we start round 3, and goddamn, round 3 was an absolute barn burner. Ricky psyched Ludwig up beforehand. He was psyching himself up, but he was psyching Ludwig up, going, "Come on, let's go." I'm like, I don't know if this is the best idea. You kind of have him a little broken here. But Ludwig's like, yeah, let's go. And he turns around, he beats on the cage, yeah, and he comes back towards the center. He was a little in front of the inside line of the octagon you're supposed to stand behind, but who cares? Because they came out, they met in the center, and fuck me, they were throwing hard. As has happened throughout this fight, Ricky's getting the better of the stand-up exchange. He's pushing Ludwig back, and for the first time in the fight, he really rips the body. He's landed body shots throughout in points here and there, but like he lands this left hook, right hook, really ripping it to the body, and that seemed to affect Ludwig a bit. And Ludwig's up against the cage, and Ricky's just unloading on him here, and Ludwig's just kind of standing there taking it. It's like, could this be over soon? But then Ludwig just like is ushering him on, going, yeah, come on. And Ricky's still throwing some elbows in there too. They're often landing, and Ludwig, shells up, takes the punches, and then looks up again and says, come on. And this seemed to make Ricky kind of second guess himself a little bit. He slowed down with those. Plus, it was the third round. It's like, how many of these can I throw? It's right at the start of the third round. I'll gas myself if I keep doing this the whole fucking time. And then Ludwig lands a big left hand. I think it was a left hand, and punches his way off the cage. And it was like, oh, fucking goddamn. And look, this whole round was on the feet. Neither really even tried to grapple. Most throughout the center, look, I'm not even going to try to analyze it because I was just enjoying. I was just watching and having fun. But it was clear that Ricky was getting the better of it. Ricky was landing the biggest shots. Ricky was landing more shots. And towards the end of the round, he tried to do a Max Holloway versus Ricardo Lamas thing where he like points to the floor when they're in the center of the cage and just like, let's just stand here and throw. They didn't quite like just stand in the same spot like Max and Ricardo did, but they both kind of did it. Like Ricky was throwing and getting the better of it, but then fucking Ludwig landed a huge overhand right, and you could see like Ricky's thinking, oh, maybe I should be a little smarter about what I'm doing. The corner was yelling like, you're winning the fight, you're winning the fight. Now, was that encouragement for him to keep doing what he was doing? Or was that like, don't get stupid, you're already winning, like don't throw it away and get fucking clocked by something big. That's what I felt like it was. But anyway, they basically keep doing that for the rest of the round. And yeah, Ricky easily won that third round, landed a lot more, landed the bigger damage, and I gave him all 3 rounds. But fucking Ludwig, it takes 2 to tango, and those two got a fucking score of 10 on the tango cards. That was a great fight. Fucking fantastic fight. So yeah, I think you can tell by my commentary, Ricky got the decision on the judges' scorecards. They didn't tell you the scores, so who knows what the scores were, but personally I had it 30-27 Ricky, and no arguments with the decision at the end. I mean, clearly, because I said I gave it to him. But we got a nice little human moment. We got Ludwig, the kind of producer team was trying to ask him one question, saying coming in, he's like, no, like I can't. And then he walks around the back, and he's just heartbroken, and Ortega's there telling him you did all right. This was a good like human moment for Ortega too, showing that he's there for his boys. Gave him a big hug, and Ludwig kind of breaks down. And look, you can't blame the guy for that. It was his livelihood's on the line here. His whole fucking dreams on the line, and he just lost. He'll get a crack on the finale, definitely. Dana loved that fucking fight, so Dana will give him a crack on the finale. And then they set up next week's fight, which is going to be Brian Battle, the last pick for the Volkanovski middleweights, versus Andrei Petrovsky, who is the top pick for Ortega's middleweights. So that's going to be an interesting one. It's also a striker versus grappler matchup. I'll tell you, if you look throughout history, grapplers usually win those. Strikers can definitely win them if they can counteract the grappling well enough to let their striking matter. But if you just have straight striker versus grappler, as long as you don't get a lucky punch, the grappler's gonna get a takedown, gonna start grappling, and gonna control on the ground. So, yeah, in terms of picks for the semi-finals, I did pick Ludwig going into this for similar reasons that I just said then. I thought, Ricky was more of a striker, Ludwig more of a grappler. Although I wasn't too confident on that pick, I was like, I don't know. But the next one I am picking Petrovsky. I think he's going to be strong enough in grappling to be able to get inside Brian Battle's shots. I don't know if Brian Battle's got enough power to stop Petrovsky getting inside. And I think once they're on the ground, Petrovsky's going to be very strong on top. I think Murdoch. I'm picking Murdoch over Brady. So that's kind of going against because Brady's most of a grappler. And Murdoch, he's well-rounded, but his veteran nous, I think, is going to take him through. Plus, he's got power in them hands. So, yeah, I'm picking Murdoch in that one. And in the last one, it's Treyshawn versus Gilbert Obinna. Hey, this could be the fight of the fucking series. Because, goddamn, Treyshawn throws with such heavy power, and Obinna looks like a real well-rounded fighter who apparently loves to strike. If you look at his previous shit, but also is great at grappling and great at finding positions when he needs to. So I'm picking Obinna in that one because Treyshawn, although he was super strong with his strikes, like powerful, I don't know. He seemed a little standoffish, and it seemed like Ryder was just kind of psyched out of his own game. And I think Obinna's going to come in there and be able to utilize his game more. He's going to be able to strike better than Ryder did, which is going to be a big difference. And he's going to be able to utilize his takedown and grappling game better than Ryder did. So, yeah, those are my picks. I already got one wrong because I picked Ludwig, but I'm picking Petrovsky, Murdoch, and Obinna from here on out. So we'll see how those go. And really looking forward to the next episode. Once again, the episodes have been kind of shit leading up to the fights, but the fights have been fucking great. So no complaints about the season because the fights are the most important thing. And let's hope that keeps going next week. I'm the Wino. Fucking catch you next time.